Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. I was down in South Central PA near Gettysburg, so I had some time. Actually, I basically went down there to hit the flea market, so I did. Forget about having time. I set aside the time because I wanted to go to flea markets. And this is the assortment of stuff that I came up with. So let's start out with the all-terrain vehicle stuff right in the beginning. I gave a guy, I think it was $5 for this pile, and it came with 2 lights, carburetor, and the nice thing about the carburetor, it's got a fuel line on it, it's got a throttle on it, throttle cable works, obviously the carburetor, and the intake manifold. So all of this was $5. The carburetor appears to be new, though it does smell like gas, and I gotta tell you, I truly do love this super custom intake manifold where you just tape the whole thing together. So once again, this was one guy and this was $5. And then there's an assortment of other people who have returns from like Amazon and so forth. And within those returns was this intake manifold. I picked it up for $1. I mean, brand new in the box, O-ring, the whole shoot match. I'm not exactly sure what it fits, but every once in a while, you know, when you're trying to weld oranges to pineapples, you know, having adapters just makes life a lot easier. As I'm building wire harnesses and so forth, different color wires are helpful as heck. This is 25 feet, and you could see yellow and brown, and then green and brown. So those are 25 feet long. That's obviously short, and there's another short piece in here. There's one trailer plug. Anyway, gave a guy $2 for it. Once again, if anybody's bought any wire recently, you realize it's crazy expensive. I picked these up. These guys here, right, obviously not the thickest of wire. They are pretty long though. I think I measured him at 12 foot. He wanted 3. I think I gave him a little less than that. I figured the end clamps were worth something, and obviously the rest of it. So I think I ended up giving him $2 for those. In the land of tools, I didn't pick up much. I have a lot of tools, so I was trying to kind of bank down. I picked up a real scalpel and a bunch of blades for it. Always helpful. I picked up these guys. These were like $1 each. Small drivers, obviously. Flat and Phillips. This was an interesting deal. You know, every deal is different, so you always got to take what you're told with a grain of salt. I was told this was part of the Ryobi weed whacker situation, and the weed whacker eventually fell apart, so they threw it away and they saved the battery and charger. So hopefully that's good. If it is good, for $5, more or less the cost of the big battery. What is this, one of those 3-4 amp hour guys? Probably 4 amp hour. Anyway, so one of these guys, I think they're the major part of $50 each, plus the charger. I'm not dying for the charger. They came as a match set, so I bought them. $5. There you go. One of the characters from Williams Grove had all these lights and switches. Right. These, I mean, these 4 are complete. This is, I'm not quite sure what that is. Anyway, he kind of had it all stacked up there, and you know, I walked by. I think I made the mistake of touching this, and he said, "Give me 20 bucks for the whole pile, the whole pile. Come on, 20 bucks. It's worth 20 bucks to you." And I said, "You know what? I'll give you 20 bucks for the whole pile." So now I'm the proud owner of all these lights. I thought they were amusing, so I went for it. With all the flooding I've been experiencing here at the Horde, right? This pump is good for somewhere around 3,100. Flowtech, it's actually a brand name, never opened. So I'm not quite sure how the person ended up with it to sell it to me. The person who had it does clean outs. So this came from one of the clean outs. I guess somebody bought it as a spare and didn't make use of it. If anybody's bought one of these lately, they see them to come in two flavors. If it's raining and flooding, they come in the flavor of not available. Otherwise, if you buy them over the internet or something like that, this is a $100 pump, give or take $20. Once again, back to that flooding thing. If there's a lot of flooding, they seem to get more expensive. If it hasn't rained in a while and inventory picks up, they seem to get cheaper again. I gave a guy, it was 22 bucks for the rope and the tote. This is the second one I have like this. The rope's 25 feet. You can see what kind it is. The tote has trays in it. And once again, I have two exactly the same there. I guess back in the day they were made by Craftsman or sold by Craftsman, whatever. I don't think Craftsman made anything, whether it was the day or not. What I like about it is they're a good height. You could sit right down on them. They're a good size, so you could put stuff in them. About watertight. If it rains just a little bit, maybe. But see that hole there? Leads right to the bottom. So, not quite watertight. I mean, you could sit them in a puddle, but you can't rain on top of them. Anyway, so 22 bucks. You're looking at the $2 and less pile. Like this was a quarter. This was 2 bucks. This 600 piece resistor set with LEDs, a thermocouple, a photoresistor. I mean, this was 2 bucks. Once again, this came from the guy who does clean outs. I bought this because of the box, right? It's the right size to build one of my CD units. I paid 2 bucks for it. What I like about it is, I mean, you got your on-off switch, your, it feels like a 5-way. I don't need any of those jacks or anything. Looks like those LEDs are lit up, to be honest with you. Must be some kind of battery inside. But once again, for 2 bucks, it was worth that for the box. Plus, I got the switches, so I did good. This bag of trivia was $1. I have a friend who does returns, and I grabbed a pile of it, and he said, give me $1. So, there you go. Gave him $1 for that bag, including these two LED lights that look like fluorescents. They look like Edison lamps, but they're LED. This was $1 to clamp on LED. The Christmas lights, this was $1. This whole big roll was $2. I kind of bought it for the spool, but probably the Christmas lights work, so that's all good. So once again, the cheap stuff. And let me just finish up by showing you some things I buy because they kind of amuse me. These light bulbs, the guy says they all work. These came from a carnival sign. Guy replaced all his filament light bulbs with some kind of LED situation. But this has all the colors, right? You know, red, clear, blue, yellow. Anyway, I gave him 10 bucks for the whole box of light bulbs. I think he said there were 30 lamps in there. Obviously, I wasn't going to count them. This is a Radio Shack radio, one of the early digital models, and it has the weather band on it. Runs on batteries or plug-in, so I liked that and bought it. This was $3. It's a robot dog. I'm not quite sure at all what it all does. It could be programmed AI and all the other stuff. I think it's a little old, so I think the AI is, you teach a button that this is the bark button, this is the jump button, you know, but whatever. It amused me and I picked it up. A lot of robot stuff does. And lastly, you know, it's been a hot summer. I'm always wondering what time it is. You could see, like, it says 1:10, and the way I'm sweating, I actually believe it. I kind of had it laying down, though. That clock is probably an hour off, so maybe it's set to normal time, not daylight savings time, right? So anyway, this was my haul. You could see it's not a huge haul. I kind of had a deal cooking for an all-terrain vehicle, which was also part of the reason why I went to South Central PA. Unfortunately, at the last minute, the deal fell through. You know, Facebook, Craigslist deals are like that. So it was really cheap, but it was another parts deal, but I was really paying parts price. It was like $125 tires, frame, basket case, motor for a TRX 200 SX. You guys know I like those. So for $125, it would have been a steal of a deal, but somebody got it before I did, so I got kind of run over there. I haven't bought an all-terrain vehicle in a while now, probably been 6-8 weeks. So I'm starting to get the itch. Prices are down. So, and I'm feeling crazy cheap. So maybe the two things will go together and the deals will keep falling through. Normally the cheaper the stuff, especially if it's a steal of a deal, somebody will come in and say, hey, you know, he'll respond, I got somebody coming to see that. And the person will say, well, I really need it, I'll give you 2X. And then, you know, some people will contact you and say, hey, I was offered twice the price. Do you want to up your bid? Let's at least split it. Or some people just start ghosting you. In the case, I got a ghosting situation going on. So what are you going to do? Anyway, I want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember, feet down, heads up, and get out and enjoy each and every day. You don't know how many you're going to get, so get out and have some fun. Bye now.